So, having established in a very last video that popular theatre is one of those questions that the examiner is always going to bring because it's an African play, we are therefore going to continue with other features of popular theatre. We have seen three. Earlier, we spoke about the presence of a revolution or an uprising by the masses. We spoke about a popular theatre that deals with the problems that affects the common man, the masses. Their problems are often discussed. And then we also spoke about the setting of popular theatre as a genre, a play that is often set in a rural area. So today we are going to see other three items of popular theatre to make it 6. Now, one item that we must discuss is the language of popular theatre. You see, since popular theatre is written for the common man, it is written to expose the life led by the common man out there. It is often written in simple English. And we observe that the characters, the language used by the characters while performing is always very, very simple and common language. Sometimes it is in pidgin, sometimes English language, sometimes they use proverbs. So we observe that sometimes local slangs too can be used. All of this is a language that is often associated with popular theatre, and because it presents the life of the common man, the language used is often a simple language. Now let's take for instance Bole Butakes and Palm Wine Will Flow. We observe that the language is very simple and basic for everyone to read and understand. We encounter Shea in his groove, talking with his friend Sango. We observe that the language that the two men are using, talking about the chief and his excesses, crowning, giving titles to elderly men in the village who least deserve them. Their language is often very easy, very simple to understand. Now they also punctuate their language with a lot of African proverbs, and they use local slangs. We observe that there are also slangs drawn from the Northwest. So that tells us that it is another feature of hallmark of a popular theatre manifesting in the play. Now, another item of popular theatre that is extremely very important that we discuss is the use of colorful costume. Now, remember that we are talking about stage presentation and stage performances. So costume there is what the characters wear while they present the performance on stage. Now, since it deals with the life of the common man, you will realize that the costume of the characters performing popular theatre is always very simple because it mimics the common life they lead. So since we are talking about a play set in the village, we observe that Shea, who happens to be the eye of the god, is often dressed in the traditional regalia which you expect him to always put on. That's to say, he's wearing a colorful skirt that comes as high as his waist level and then down to his ankle, and is bare chested. And then later on, when we see the Palm Wine Tapper who puts on the regalia of the masquerade and then runs over to the palace for a rebellion and raises the palace to the ground by burning it. We also observe that he too appears like a common masquerade, so that can pass for costume. We don't get to see the form in person, but had it been that we did see the form, we will be expected to see him dressed in a simple traditional regalia that Norwest fonts are supposed to wear. So all this physical appearance and the outfits that they wear also goes in line with popular theatre. So you see that popular theatre also makes use of simple and colorful costume. Now, the last item that is very important that we take note of in popular theatre is the use of songs and dances. Songs and dances is always there in popular theatre. Now, needless mentioning it, but you just need to go through the text to discover a lot of songs and dances. We are talking about even incantations. Incantations that Shea will make to the gods and pass for songs. Of course, there are songs because incantation is a genre of poetry called the religious songs where it communicates with the gods, it talks to the gods. So that is an aspect of popular theatre. So if you get in there and the examiner asks you to work on popular theatre, these are 6 characteristics features. All you need to do is to get illustrations, textual illustrations from the text, and back up your arguments that Bole Butakes and Palm Wine Will Flow is a popular theatre. So now that we know what popular theatre is, sounding that question should be a walk in the park. So you hit the subscribe button, you like, and you share our videos. Now my objective is to get this class as large as possible. In our next video, we are going to be doing something very special, something that concerns the examiner, and I'll require you to keep watching. Oh yes, I would advise that you keep watching and you hit that subscribe button. You see, we are going to get into the examiner's mind and see what they expect from you. So let's keep it going till we meet again. Keep the questions coming and hit subscribe and get our class growing.